Hi, I'm Rob and it's Guild Wars War 5 and today is Green Day. The Relax Zone is who we're up against today, so let's see what we got. Lac Dokmal is the first opponent. Alright, so we are up against a Corsair class. Mountain Crusher, 2 times Queen Beatrix and Leprechaun. It's oddly similar to my team, so this is interesting. The Leprechaun, full start with mana, explodes green from the start, charging up their B and their Mountain Crusher. Mountain Crusher explodes brown gems, charging up the team. Corsair class, let's see what they've got. Okay, Bandit is the main thing there, and they have a Medal of Orpheus. And of course, Queen Beatrix has that awesome third trait, cleanse all allies when matching 4 or more gems. And does a true damage with a chance to get half her mana back. And an extra turn. So yeah, right, similar to my team. But you can protect yourself from Queen Beatrix in many different ways. If their team gets charged up before mine, they can beat my team. Because Queen Beatrix can repeat over and over. And especially when there's 2 of them, they just piggyback each other. And just cast back to back. And they can win. But we can prevent this from happening. Let's change the class. The team's fine. Mystic Manuscript explodes purple gems. This is going to help charge up my Leprechaun for a second time, as well as charge up the rest of the team, and it has a summon at the same time. You can put it in a lower position if you prefer, because quite often the troop at the top is the first one to die, so you don't benefit from the summon if that is the case. But I should be okay with it here, and I'm going to change the class though. And the reason is, I'll just show the banner quick. +2 green, +1 blue, -1 brown. That's not right. That'll do. Yeah, I think I changed the weapon from that one. So yeah, always check your banners. It's definitely worth doing. Right, that is fine. That one's absolutely okay. Right, so yeah, I'm going to change the class here and I'll show you why. And I'm also going to change 1 troop as well. And I'll explain why as well. This is explaining a bit more strategy in Guild Wars and how you can counter certain opponents and teams. Right, so we'll take a look at this. Frost Mage. 25% chance to freeze a random enemy when an ally casts a spell. That will stop their looping element unless they get a 4 match. But we'll have Snap Freeze. Freeze a random enemy at the start. We don't need to be immune to that ourselves because they don't do anything regarding freeze, but we'll take it anyway. Reduce magic from spells by 20%. Important. Mana Source, always good to have a fast start on Guild Wars if you can. Deluge, very important. Submerge a random ally on 4 or 5 gem matches. We don't really need that because we're going to change a troop to a certain one in a minute. But we'll keep it there anyway because there's nothing else of relevance. Bonus blue or lightning strike, what do we prefer? Let's go for bonus blue. And Mystic Channel. All Mystics gain 2 magic and life when an enemy dies. So that's pretty good. We'll take that. But I'm going to change 1 troop as I explained at the start. And that is going to be... Where are you? There you go. Aquaticus. And the reason is Aquaticus submerges all allies when matching 4 or more gems. So I'm going to swap 1 Queen Beatrix for her. So when Queen Beatrix does a damage, that is a damage to all. And if you're submerged, you just avoid damage to all. So all we got to do is get a 4 match somewhere and we'll be safe from Queen Beatrix's damage. So she can get charged up as much as she wants. That will make no difference because we are hiding underwater. And bees can't get us underwater. Right, so that is my strategy for this one. Let's dive in. Green, 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 green. Oh, I didn't actually press... See, this is too early in the morning for me for Guild Wars. Didn't actually change my class. Didn't activate it. Right. Equip. Thank you. Right. Done. Let's go. That was nearly a little mistake already. I haven't even started yet. So a 4 match and we'll be safe from Queen Bee. And there we go. Bang. Everybody's submerged. Doesn't matter what they do with their Queen Beatrixes. We ain't going to be touched. So now we can just go about collecting our mana. There's a good amount of green everywhere, so this is going to get a okay amount of mana. Don't mind collecting it manually though at the same time. Especially if there's any cascades afterwards which give us some benefit. But we'll cast that, see what happens. We got an extra turn, nifty. Let's go for 1B. We can cast Mystic Manuscript now if we so desire. Let's charge up the Leprechaun again, as well as our other B. And they're not going to get a turn. No turn win. That's 3,288 points. Mouse. We got here Ice Arrow. Deals damage to an enemy. If an enemy uses red, deal double damage. In Archer class, have to be wary of this. Bullseye, 15% chance for skull damage to be lethal, so pay attention to skulls because it's easy to leave the enemy skulls sometimes when you're a higher level thinking you're safe and then suddenly you just die, and that kind of thing can be the reason. That 15% chance can happen, and it often does. It's only 1 in 6, roughly, so it's... Right, we're going to be entangled from the start, so unless we can cleanse that off immediately, skull damage is not going to be anything relatively useful. They've got a Queen Bee there. They've got an Arachidian Weaver. Webs all enemies, reducing our magic to 0, which basically makes our Queen Bees virtually ineffective. So that is something we want to avoid getting charged. And yeah, they've gone for Quaticus. This is, see, good tactics. Deal light splash damage. Explode half the gems on the board. And again, submerge all allies when matching 4 or more gems. So, this could be a case of who gets submerged first. And if we're both submerged, then we're going to be both punching air for a while. So, yeah, I'm going to do this same team just for fun. Right, so we've got our 4 match. So that is good. We're submerged. See, I'm not going to explode the board now, because they've got no explode on their side. I just want to make sure that I collect some mana for my troops without hopefully giving them a 4 match. So I want to collect blue if I can, but it's not ideal. It's not even there. So I might collect this green. Just make sure that everything's not going to give them a 4 match. The purple comes to there. The blue above it comes to there. And the blue above that comes to there. Oh, so that's actually not too bad. We'll do that. What are they going to do now? 34 damage. Don't use red. So I'm okay with that. Alright, let's get some stuff for my B. I'm still reluctant to cast my Leprechaun in case I set them up for a 4 match. Don't want them being submerged as well. Right, we've got cleansed off. Another 4 match there. Even though we don't use red, but... Oh, did I take that the wrong way then? I have to look back on that. That might have been a guaranteed mana surge there, which I missed. Barely finished my first morning cup of coffee. So we'll get this. This is going to get me B up. Right, B, don't leave them any 4 matches, if you don't mind. Let's go again. And that's going to do it. So again, don't just cast your Leprechaun straight away without looking at the board. Sometimes it's beneficial not to cast your Leprechaun, because you can collect your mana without the possibility of setting up the opposition for a 4 match in a game like that. 1,400 Guild Wars points that time. Guji 2226. We have Emperina Zara. Gives life to all allies, summons a random kobold, then either gains an extra turn or summons another kobold. Quite a decent troop. Summons a Bone Storm at the start, which is skulls, and gives 2 life and magic to all allies when matching 4 or more gems. Emperina gives life and attack to an ally, then cleanses and heals them. So we're all about giving life so far. An Earthcaller deals damage to an enemy boosted by my attack, life and armor. So you can see the strategy behind this. Boost up the life with these two and then cause increased damage by this troop. Deal 43 damage to an enemy boosted by my attack, life and armor. If they're a boss, deal 3 to 5 times damage. Urieli does true damage to all enemies, boosted by Naga and Undead, and summons a Bone Naga. Right, so that does do damage to all, so there is reason to leave Aquaticus in the team again, just for that reason about the damage to all. But yeah, still quite like this. We can change to a build with 2 times Aquaticus. The Urieli is mana blocked by green on both Emperina Zara and Earthcaller. And it's blocked on blue by Earthcaller. So only if we give them yellow would they have a chance of getting their Urieli up. So for that reason I might actually switch to a double Queen Beatrix team, which I'm going to do. Don't really need that submerge now, I don't think. We've still got the Deluge as part of the class, so we can still benefit from that. So Deluge, submerge a random ally on 4 or 5 gem matches. If we get 4 matches, which we are likely to with Queen Bee, then we're going to submerge a random ally anyway. Let's dive in. Really simple team to use, this one. There's a nice cheeky 4 match at the beginning. Green is reasonably spattered around. Going to cast my Leprechaun because I'm guaranteed to get our Mystic Manuscript up here. And there's a lot of blue and green around. I mean blue around the green gems, which is the ones we're going to explode when we cast Leprechaun. So we're going to pick up a lot of the colours we want here. Oh, they got a nice extra turn there. Explodes purple. We'll take things like this first though. Have a little look around for anything else which is going to be of benefit. Let's go for it. It's given their teammate a bunch of life. Still not got my B up. Right. Do I cast Leprechaun? I think I do. Oh, give them another skull hit. It's the Bone Storm. But they're about to be conked out. Alright, Queen Bee. Do your stuff. Both Queen Bees are up now, so pretty good chance of this working out from here. Set them up a little bit. But yep, we're gonna win this. See you later. Job done. That is 1,514 Guild Wars points. Yeah, next one. Good old Leprechaun. Fabidu, 1990. Good old Goblins. This is where we have to change the class. String Fiddler silences an enemy, explodes 12 gems of one of their mana colours, gains an extra turn. Gob Truffle does damage to all. So a good reason to have Aquaticus back in the team, because that is the main damage dealer. That is annoying, but he only silences an enemy, so we do need the cleanse of Queen Beatrix still. Norbert's Turnip does do damage. And Goblin Rocket explodes a gem. So, still going to stick to the same kind of team. But I am going to bring Aquaticus back in. She's come off the reserves bench again. And she's popped into the team for that awesome trait. And Frost Mage is a really good way to go with this. You can go Elementalist class. I'm toying with the idea of Elementalist class instead. If you're going to lose one today, it's going to be this one. Them Goblins, once they get going. You can pretty much beat any team. So we're going to start with a freeze. It is important to get a fast start with this. But if we get the 4 matches going with Beatrix, then that is even safer. That's so good. So good. They're going to start Frozen anyway. Immune to Frozen. Watery Binding. That's good. Deluge, yep. No, don't need it. Rock Solid. Get Barrier. Right, so I think I might switch to Elementalist for this, just to show how you can use this. You don't get a 50% start with this, so just going to double check that I've got Medal of Arnu equipped. Yep. What are my other two? So I didn't even check my medals this morning. So clumsy. Right, because let's think. So I'm not paying attention at all. Let's check something. Right, so we do get Frozen at the start. And they're going for Elementalist as well. So I'm going to have to fight Elementalist with Elementalist. And I'm going to bring in 2 times Orpheus medals on this. Need a cleanse. Right. So this could be an interesting one. See who gets going first. So green, 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 green. Elementalist against the Goblins. They can start with a freeze. We have a major cleanse with Beatrix and Orpheus medals. The odds should be in our favour, but those Goblins, once they get going, they can be a real pain. But all we need is some 4 matches, and we'll be good. Right, so nothing doing absolutely immediately. Don't want to take that, because that's going to set them up for a 4-match red. That's going to cause the Elementalist effect with the Tangle, Freeze, Burn, etc. So I'm not doing that. Hopefully they'll take that themselves, being as though they think it was such a good idea from the AI. Not taking that. There's not much going on for me regarding my colours. There's no brown, no green. That's the only blue offering. And there's not a lot of green to explode for my Leprechaun either. Right, so not the best start ever. That's the only almost viable move. If I do that, I'm going to set them up for a 4-match on yellow. So thank you very much, AI, for this wonderful start. I can take this red here, I suppose. I don't use red, but I'm not setting them up for a 4-match. No. Not if I can help it anyway. Right, I might take this one here. It's wasting my turn, but I'm reluctant to just cast Leprechaun. Nah, sod it, I'm going for it. Change my mind. Go for it, wing it, see what happens. You got to roll the dice sometimes. You just have. Alright, now we can get our B up with this, guaranteed. 1, 2, 3. We're going to leave my skull hit. I'm not too worried about that because I've got a barrier. I'd rather they've done that than collected mana. Thank you. Alright, now, can we make that into a 4-match? Not really. Start doing some stuff with Queen Bee. She's going to create some 4 matches, because when you create 2 separate colours like that, then there's going to be obviously more of them generally on the board than other colours, so there's always going to be more chance of a 4-match. And that is the second troop entangled. Let's go with B again. Because they're frozen, they're not getting much in the way of any chances of extra turns. Alright, now, usually I'd like to cast this, but all the purples are near the edge, so we're not going to get much mana from that. Because you explode the gem, and all the gems are around it, and this is the only one that's actually in the open. So I'd get this mana, but the rest of them are all on the edge, so you're going to get little mana from these on the edge, so I'm not going to cast that. I'm going to grab some regular green. Oh, they got the old elementalist effect there. Right, so let's grab that because we're not frozen on the brown. Trust them to hit my B, so I'm now stunned. Typical. Oh, it's silenced. That's even worse. Right, so who gets cleansed now first is going to be the interesting thing. Hopefully we'll get our Aquaticus up. Quite a lot of purple everywhere. What have we got? Not too much going on. Not a huge amount of value in casting my Mystic Manuscript at the moment. Apart from the fact I can't get my Aquaticus up any other way. So I'll do that. Right, so I might have to cast my... No, I think I might take this Scarlet hit actually. Need to get rid of that String Fiddler, he's a right pain. And cast my Aquaticus next round. Right, Aquaticus, do your Aquati things. Right, she's got rid of String Fiddler, not too shabby. Let's cast a B. Right, we're home and hosed now. Home and hosed, this is a win. But yeah, it was in the balance for a while. That was like, got a bit messy. That was 1,575 points. And the last one is Zombie O. 209 1980. And we have the Molten Dipper. Interesting weapon. Explodes a column. Creates a gargoyle gem for each red or brown in the chosen column. All constructs start with 50% mana. This is Geomancer class. Inflict stun when enemies deal skull damage. So that's actually important because a quick tip here. If you're like Elementalist class and you've got your hero at the top, you've got to be wary of impact, because in the moment I am Elementalist, and if we got impacted, so we lose our stuns, you lose that elemental force. And it's a really good way of stopping that Elementalist elemental force if the hero is at the top. Anyway, where was I? Looking at this. Looking at the talents. Making myself dizzy. Rock solid. Yeah, really good class, Geomancer. Love it. Empress. Interesting. 30 to all skills on the last ally with a 7% chance of an extra turn for each green gem on the board. She is really good. I've done a couple of teams with her in other videos. Check those out. How to really seriously buff up your attack or damage or something. Just all your stats and make the last troop really, really cool. Iron Hawk deals damage to all enemies when an ally casts a spell, is impervious, and creates 12 Doom Skulls, then explodes 18 gems. It's got a hit and miss on the damage on that. Sometimes it's really high and other times it's surprisingly low. But the reason that this team is set up like this is for a Chalcedony, because if she starts repeating with that brown, deals 41 damage to an enemy, then creates 3 brown gems boosted by all constructs. And this is all constructs. And if they get to cast their Empress, that is going to push Chalcedony's damage up to 70 odd to an enemy, with that chance for that constant repeating at the same time. But a way to stop this is freeze. All we need is a basic freeze going on. We don't need Aquaticus anymore, so we'll swap her back to Queen Beatrix. Simple, straightforward team again. But we do need the freeze element going on, so we can do this in either Elementalist or Frost Mage. I'm going to put it back to Frost Mage, because don't need a superstar. We do need a fast start on this, sorry, because we don't want them to have any chance of their troops getting going. So we'll have a nice start on this. We've got the freeze going on. And there's a 24% chance to freeze a random enemy when an ally casts a spell as well. And because we repeat with our Queen Beatrix quite often, providing it doesn't try and put it on Iron Hawk, it was impervious, then we should be okay. Right, let's go. Right, so lots of green everywhere. May cast my Leprechaun. Got a 4-match purple here by taking this blue. Beatrix is ready to do her stuff, but we'll take that first. And that. See, when you get these 4 matches which are useless and you have a time, that's when you wish you'd chosen Elementalist class. But you kind of think if I had chosen Elementalist class, it wouldn't have worked out like this, maybe. Nature of the game. Right, so don't mind giving them that skull hit. Let's get going with old Queen Bee. She's just taken away pretty much all the purple there now, so not worth casting my Mystic Manuscript. Any way of getting some... we can get brown and green that way. Gives me a barrier at the same time. No, it doesn't. That's the different class. What we got? What we got? What we got? Top troop is barriered. They got rock solid. Need to take away some of this brown. Not enough purple to justify casting that. Yeah. Not a huge amount of choices. Want blue though. Take it there or there. Doesn't make any difference. Or that way puts that brown to there. Gives them that skull hit, which I'm quite happy to take. Charlestoni is ready, but she is frozen. So, providing they don't get a miracle cleanse on the next round, which they did, but she's ready to go now. But hopefully, we'll stop her in her tracks. We've killed 2 opponents anyway, so the amount of brown she generates is boosted by construct allies, and there's 2 of them have gone now. So, she shouldn't, in quotes, loop that much. Right, cheap way of removing the barrier as well. Like, you can leave that skull hit for the enemy to take. They might take it rather than cast Charlestoni. But if you want to remove the barrier, then you can cast your Mystic Manuscript. If there's a purple near a skull or next to it, you're going to most likely take that skull out, which removes the barrier. And I am going to do that. Chance of a 4-match afterwards. Yeah, she didn't loop because there's not enough troops remaining, but she did get charged again, so don't want to take anything for granted on this. I cast my Leprechaun, same reason. Cast that, the blues, that green's going to explode and take out their barrier, so cast Leprechaun. She didn't get charged that time. Let's get our B up and end this thing. Nearly done. Mystic Manuscript. Trouble is at the moment my second bee is mana blocked by the first one because I've got to cast it quickly. I don't like these. Well, the gargoyle gems are good because these are good gargoyle gems. The ones with the blue eyes are good. That means when you destroy them or explode them, then you will get a good status effect to your team. If they're red eyes and they look evil, then it casts a bad status effect on the enemy. So is there a purple near them? No, there isn't. So I'm not going to take them out even if I cast my Mystic Manuscript, which is slightly annoying. But I'm going to do them a little bit of damage. But yeah, I think I'll just grab some regular mana. Go on, bee. Right, let's get rid of that barrier again. It being a bit of an irritant. Done. So yeah, a couple of ways to counter various teams there. Some things are always in the lap of the gods, but that's the way it's going to be with this game. Got to roll with the flow, chuck the dice and see what happens sometimes. That was 1,667 Guild Wars points. Everybody's dead day again, 5-0. Some games getting trickier now, and total today was an okay, 9,444. All good. There's Guild Wars. I'll be back tomorrow for the next Guild Wars, and I've got a Wrath Amon team to show later today, which I'll be popping up a couple of hours maybe after this one. So check back for that if you feel like it. If not, why not bash that like and subscribe button if you're not done so already. And thanks for watching, and I'll catch you again next time. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.